And now, Views from the Parc, an English podcast for all fans of Paris Saint-Germain. Join us for weekly deep dives and discussions pertaining to PSG, only on the PSG Connection.
Bonjour and welcome back to Views from the Parc, the podcast where we dive deep into all things PSG. I'm your host, Ben, and for episode 3 we are heading into the international break, but anticipation is high for the return of Gonzalo Ramos and the impact he might bring. We'll also analyse Luis Enrique's approach so far and explore what might still be lacking for PSG in both League One and the Champions League. Let's start with the big news everyone's waiting for. Gonzalo Ramos is set to rejoin the squad after the international break. Following an injury setback, fans are looking to him as a solution to PSG's current offensive issues. But can we expect Ramos to be a game-changer in a system that's still finding its feet? His return raises the question of the team's setup. Ramos brings physicality and instinctual goal-scoring that PSG's recent matches have been missing. Luis Enrique's style emphasises midfield control and lateral passing, but this approach has also left gaps in our offensive firepower. PSG leads the Champions League in expected goals, but lacks consistency in turning those chances into goals. Gonzalo Ramos may bring that needed focus in the box, but his effectiveness will depend on how well the team can adjust to make use of his positioning and finishing prowess. Let's turn our attention now to some questions submitted for this episode. Fan question #1. How much of PSG's goal drought can really be fixed by one player like Ramos? Good question. Realistically, Ramos can't solve everything. PSG's current setup needs a more coherent link between the midfield and attack. It's about more than just finishing, it's about getting quality chances in the right areas. Ramos offers us a central target to feed into, but PSG's success will hinge on quality supply lines from players like Dembele and Barcola. Fan question #2. Why is Luis Enrique sticking with a possession-heavy approach that doesn't seem to lead to goals? Enrique's focus on possession is an attempt to control the game, but PSG's reliance on possession stats often overshadows their lack of efficiency in front of the goal. There's no doubt he's one of the most tactically astute coaches, but many argue his current tactics don't suit PSG's strengths. Fans might be looking for a more direct style, especially in games where possession isn't translating to goals. Fan question #3. Does the focus on young talent put too much pressure on players like Barcola and Warren Zaïre-Emery? Yes, relying heavily on young players has its risks. While PSG has a strong squad with emerging talents, experience matters, especially in high-stakes Champions League games. There's a fine line between developing players and depending on them to perform consistently at the top level. Balancing this with the skills of seasoned players is essential. Moving back to our Champions League campaign, PSG's performances have shown mixed results. We're creating chances but struggling to make them count, and that's not down to any single player. Enrique has kept faith in his philosophy of positional play and high possession. Yet there's a clear need to adapt these tactics, particularly against teams like Atletico Madrid, who use compact defences to stifle creativity. In closing, while Gonzalo Ramos' return is a positive sign, PSG's bigger challenge is aligning the tactical setup with our players' strengths. Luis Enrique's methods may be under fire, but with strategic adjustments, there's potential for PSG to find a rhythm. Thanks for tuning in to Views from the Parc. Until next time we will see you for episode 4, keep the faith in LA Paris.